Son we love and cherish. We have vanquished our enemies. All hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. In him we trust. Shout it, sing it, all hail Biafra. God bless Biafra. We have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra. We shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes. Our prayer shall be known both day and night. Say them always. All hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, Biafra, shining forever.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you all my friends and all my lovers. I pray God will keep you alive till give you more grace, more wisdom and understanding. I pray God will lead you all through your business and all. Good morning. I still remember my humble self, Chilobrown, in the mic. I would like you people to follow me up on my Instagram page, Chiboza Osigwe. That's my name. That's my real name, Chiboza Osigwe. I would like you up to follow me on my YouTube channel, Chilobrown TV. Please follow me up. I would love you all. Please and please. I would like you up to follow me on my Facebook page, Chilobrown Updated News. Please, I will keep updating you. I'll give you more updates. Please, I would like you up to follow me up on that page. Please, I'll give you more updates. I would like you up to follow me on my Instagram page, Chilobrown6262. Please don't forget. Please follow me up on my YouTube channel. Please, and you subscribe. Please, I love you all. Please subscribe on my YouTube channel, Chilobrown TV. Please and please, I beg you all. I would like you to follow me up, like my page, Chilobrown Updated News, and I would like you all to follow me on my Twitter. Just follow me on my Twitter, Chilobrown Chiboza Osigwe. That's my name. Just follow me, Chiboza Osigwe. Please enjoy this episode. I love you all. Please, thank you.
Live from the world headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital, this is the news with Rick Sanchez.
And hi, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez, and I want to welcome all of you who are watching us from around the world, including those of you watching us on your phones using the portable TV app. And once again, we're going to begin this newscast with the threat of war in the Asian Pacific. Let me start by showing you this photo. See that photo right there? You see the insignia there back near the tail? You see what that is? That's a photo taken over the skies of Taiwan. This is one of 18 fighter jets and bombers that were dispatched today by China into the Strait of Taiwan. It is a show of force by China to show that they mean business right now when it comes to stopping the, quote, collusion, that's the word they're using, between the United States and Taiwan. Why is China doing this? Maybe the best way to answer that is to show you a clip from this newscast just 2 days ago. Here it is. China is warning the United States to cancel its economic meetings scheduled with Taiwan this Friday or else. China says if the U.S. goes through with those meetings this Friday, there will be, quote, serious damage to the U.S. economic relations with China. So there you have it. China told the United States, don't do it. Don't meet with Taiwan officials behind our backs. And the U.S. went and did it anyway. So why is China so furious about that? Why are Chinese military officials right now warning the U.S. that if they continue playing with fire, they will get, quote, burned? The reason is this. China considers Taiwan a province, not an independent country. In other words, for them, what the United States is doing with Taiwan is akin to Puerto Rico meeting with China or Russia to discuss trade or buy weapons of war without including Washington in those talks. Add to that the fact that the Trump administration is officially banning TikTok and WeChat this weekend. And what you have is a level of heat between two superpowers not seen since the Cold War, and getting worse by the day. So this is serious. We've been telling you that this has been brewing for some time, and it just continues to brew and get more and more serious. How dangerous, though, might this get? This is what we continue to drill down on right here on the News with Rick Sanchez, and we're going to do it again today, where we believe it's time to do news again. All right, here we go with the list of the questions we think you'll be asking tomorrow. Is the United States going too far in ignoring China's Taiwan ultimatum? Is an entire and actual T-Rex skeleton really for sale? There's a Friday story for you. And why do U.S. voters always end up with only two real choices for president? Why is that? All right, as if the tensions between the United States and China were not already high enough on the question of Taiwan, especially on the question of Taiwan, guess what? They just got worse. A Republican congressman from Wisconsin is bringing a bill to the floor of Congress to essentially recognize Taiwan and try to end the one China policy. And he's doing it right now with all of this going on. Congressman Tom Tiffany is saying, quote, we don't need permission slips from a communist China to talk to our democratic friends and partners. Those words will no doubt set China off even more if they haven't already. We presume they have. We begin our newscast with RT correspondent Alex Mihaljevic.
As the U.S. sends diplomats to the disputed island of Taiwan, China is flexing its military muscle nearby.
Today, the eastern faction of the PLA launched military exercises near the Taiwan Strait, which is legitimate. Necessary acts are aimed at safeguarding the situation in between the strait to safeguard its sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Beijing views the island as a part of China's territory, while the Taiwan government views itself as independent of mainland China's. Officially, the U.S. does not support Taiwan's independence, but the diplomatic missions and weapon sales tell a different story. Earlier this week, it was revealed that the United States has plans to potentially sell multiple weapon systems to Taiwan, including mines, cruise missiles, and drones. The move would be unusual and is seen as provocative, since in the past, Washington strategically spaced out weapon sales in order not to irritate Beijing. To add fuel to the fire, U.S. Congressman Tom Tiffany introduced a bill this week which calls on the U.S. to put an end to the One China policy. This would allow the states to have formal relations with Taiwan. Tiffany tweeted, "Last night I introduced legislation calling for an end to the outdated One China policy and closer ties with our allies in Taiwan. America does not need a permission slip from communist China to talk to our democratic friends and partners. It's time for a change." In the eyes of China, the U.S. weapon sales, the diplomatic missions to Taiwan, and America's rhetoric are all being viewed as foreign interference.
The Taiwan issue is purely China's internal affair and does not allow any foreign forces to interfere. Any attempt to use Taiwan to contain China with foreign support is doomed to a dead end.
America's seeming attempts to raise tensions in the Taiwan Strait are working in tandem with moves being made in its current trade battle with China. Beginning this Sunday, the Trump administration will be banning China's TikTok and WeChat from mobile app stores. TikTok is used by tens of millions in the U.S. While some herald the move as a way to protect America's national security, others, including the American Civil Liberties Union, are against it. They say the Commerce Department action is violating First Amendment rights of the app's users by restricting their ability to communicate and conduct important transactions on the two social media platforms. As Americans debate the issue at home, it is clear that the app restrictions are a part of a broader campaign against China. Add Taiwan to trade, and the actions are bound to sharply raise tensions between the U.S. and the Asian superpower. For RT, I'm Alex Mihailovich.
Things are seriously getting to the boiling point right now. To the United States, this is a matter of Taiwan having the right to be independent, and the United States wants to view them as independent, and does. For China, this is the United States getting into Chinese business and dealing with a province of theirs, which is what they consider Taiwan to be. So what's the solution? How does this end up? How far will the United States go, and what's China going to do about it? We're going to continue to try and drill down on this. We're trying to get a hold of George Galloway now to see if we can put him up on the bird and have a conversation with him. Obviously, he's very knowledgeable about this situation as well. As soon as we're able to make contact by satellite with Mr. Galloway, we'll do just that. Meanwhile, although tourists haven't fully returned to New York, dinosaurs, however, are making a comeback. A store in the iconic Rockefeller Center is actually auctioning off a T-Rex, a skeleton, of course. This dinosaur is about 67 million years old, and visitors are going to be able to get a glimpse of this T-Rex, and if they want to buy it, well, it's for sale. Get ready to pay up, though. It's a big price tag. RT's Trinity Chavez has more on this story.
The largest and most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton is hitting the auction block on October 6th. But if you want a piece of the T-Rex, well, experts estimate that the bones will sell for millions of dollars.
They are incredibly rare. You would be counting the number of comparable Rexes on your fingers.
Its name is Stan. Named after the pathologist who first found the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the dinosaur is the most complete T-Rex known to man. It's about 67 million years old, and its eyes are the size of baseballs.
He was walking the earth. He was the apex predator of the late Cretaceous. He is 37 foot long and one of the fiercest killing machines that has ever roamed the earth.
The T-Rex comes from the collection of the Black Hills Institute in South Dakota, where he has become one of the most studied fossils in history. His head's so heavy, it has to be mounted separately. Experts estimate Stan's bones will sell for millions of dollars.
We've got an estimate of $6 to $8 million on Stan, but he is being offered with no reserve. So absolutely everyone has a shot at him.
But while the auction isn't set to take place until October 6th, visitors can catch a glimpse of Stan if they want to.
As long as everyone maintains the correct social distancing, you will be able to come and have a look at Stan. We've opened up the windows to the gallery in Christie's, and you'll be able to see him 24 hours a day from the streets.
Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
I told you just moments ago that we're trying to make contact with George Galloway to talk about this rapidly developing situation over Taiwan between the United States and China. Former British MP George Galloway joins us now live. You know, George, when we talked about this just a couple of days ago, we were very concerned that the United States would do what China apparently seemed to give them an ultimatum not to do. The United States has now done this. 18 fighter jets and bombers have been sent by China into the area there around Taiwan, the Sea of Taiwan. This seems disconcerting. Where's this leading, George?
It's gravely troubling, Rick. The reality is neither side can possibly want a war which would have absolutely cataclysmic consequences for not just both those countries, but for the world and for the world's economy, already sunk in a pandemic. But the danger of an accident happening, the danger of something that was not expected or even intended happening in this situation is now very grave. When you've got fighters and bombers making bombing runs, practice bombing runs, but using live ammunition, while an American envoy is there in Taiwan, breaking all previous U.S. political protocols for decades, since 1979, in fact. The U.S. has been following a one-China policy. That ended today, and the Trump administration is taking terrifying risks. And if they're doing it because of the difficulties they're facing in the upcoming U.S. presidential election, well, that is simply unforgivable, even if it doesn't turn into a shooting war.
We know the history of this situation. Guys like you and I who are old enough to remember, or at least read some history about Chiang Kai-shek and the separation of Taiwan from China, know that this is a very important issue for the people of both of those regions. Do you think Americans or American policymakers understand the sensitivities of this issue, especially for the mainland?
I suspect not. In the case of the White House, in the State Department, almost certainly they do. As a matter of fact, you mentioned Chiang Kai-shek. His movement is totally against this meeting today and does not support independence for Taiwan. His movement, which governed for most of the time that the Taiwan statelet has existed, also considers itself part of one China. So this is, if you like, the new governing class, which is younger, doesn't remember the days that Taiwan was founded in, and there's a recklessness abroad here, Rick, and I, for one, am extremely troubled about it. And if we get into a shooting war, believe me, we'll speak of nothing else if we're still able to speak for many years to come.
We have a minute left. I have to ask you, George, you read the situation with the Chinese and Beijing for quite some time. Do you believe that they're at the point now where they're angry enough to react in some kind of military fashion besides just exercises?
I suspect that they are. They're at the end of their tether. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. They cannot be expected to continue to accept slow strangulation attempts by the United States and one or two only of its allies. The rest of the world's looking on at this aghast. But Chinese patience is legendary. Do nothing was the legend of one of their most famous and successful emperors. He often argued that doing nothing was better than doing something which might turn out to be the wrong thing. So there will be contending schools of thought in Beijing. But I suspect that the time is running out. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, snap, chat. George Galloway, thank you. Smart stuff. This is the news with Rick Sanchez, and you're watching our special coverage. When we come back, we're taking a look at Vikings. What do they really look like, by the way? You want to know? Stay right there. Hey, welcome back. I'm Rick Sanchez. You know, on Fridays, we like to bring you stories that are a little more off the beaten path. So we thought we'd introduce you to something which is an interesting topic here. So popular culture, like TV shows, like Vikings. You've seen that show? I guess it's on Netflix or something. It paints a picture of seafaring, land-conquering Scandinavians as blonde-haired, blue-eyed, big, muscular men. But there's some new research out there that's painting a very different portrait of what Vikings really look like. Vikings weren't apparently, according to at least one study, nothing like what they are portrayed. Here's RT's John Huddy with an explanation.
When most people think of the Vikings, at least here in the U.S., they probably think of the football team. But from a historical perspective, the thinking then shifts to the image of the blonde-haired, blue-eyed men and women of Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. Contrary to popular belief, however, those ancient Vikings revered in history and music may not have resembled what we think. A new study published in the journal Nature about the population genomics of the Viking world reports that during the Viking Age, from 750 to 1050 AD, a, quote, series of interlocked Viking worlds emerged from rapidly growing maritime exploration, trade, war, and settlement, and show a greater affinity to Neolithic farmers from Anatolia or modern-day Turkey. Translation: a lot of Vikings had Asian and Middle Eastern features, that is, brown-haired, brown-eyed, darker complexions. Researchers from the University of Cambridge and the University of Copenhagen sequenced the genomes of 442 humans living across Europe between about 2400 BC and 1600 AD, with the majority from the Viking Age. The study drew on existing data from more than 1,000 ancient individuals from non-Viking times and more than 3,800 people living in the present. The team found that from the Iron Age, Southern European genes entered Denmark and then spread north, while genes from Asia entered Sweden. Vikings are genetically not purely Scandinavian, according to one of the study's main researchers. The Vikings also ventured east to what is now Russia and Eastern Europe, proving one thing we all know about the Vikings: they got around. For the news with Rick Sanchez, John Huddy.
They got around. You know, there appears to be a trend taking place in America where if you're not a Democrat and if you're not a Republican, good luck trying to get on a ballot so people can possibly vote for you. 5 Green Party candidates in the state of Montana have been basically kicked off the ballot. In Texas, third-party candidates were also kicked off the ballot for not paying their filing fees. Here's the problem with that. Most Democrats and Republicans don't have to pay their filing fees. Are we as Americans too often forced to choose between the lesser of two evils because candidates that we might find possibly more attractive aren't allowed in? Countries all over the world, countries like the UK, India, Australia, have prominent third, fourth, fifth parties. Why don't we? NRS correspondent Farron Franzak has an exclusive look at the history of third parties in America and why you most likely won't see him on a ballot anytime soon.
President George Washington was against and warned the Founding Fathers when creating this nation that having only a two-party system where the choice was either one or the other was wrong. And in our nation's beginnings, there often were many choices for voters, among the men running for president, and some even won. Millard Fillmore of the Know-Nothing Whig Party, elected in 1850. Teddy Roosevelt first served as a Republican from 1901 to 1909. Then, dissatisfied with his Republican predecessor, William Howard Taft, Roosevelt formed his own progressive party, the Bull Moose Party. Roosevelt and Taft split the votes, which surrendered the election to the Democratic nominee Woodrow Wilson in 1912. Fast forward to 1968, where for the first time since 1824, the election almost was decided by the House of Representatives, thanks to the governor of Alabama, George Wallace. While he knew he wouldn't win, he knew the Deep South agreed with his pro-segregation policies and won their electoral votes. While Richard Nixon won the majority, Wallace gave him a run for his money. In 1980, we all remember the Gipper, Ronald Reagan winning, but it almost didn't happen, thanks to Republican-turned-independent John Anderson. Even though incumbent Jimmy Carter refused to debate him, Reagan did, and Anderson snagged 6% of the vote.
And you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south.
But perhaps the most famous of third-party candidates, Ross Perot, who historians say ruined George H.W. Bush's incumbency by stealing 19% of the votes, handing it over to Democrat Bill Clinton in 1992. But the most ardent and recurring third-party candidate, Ralph Nader of the Green Party, running in 96, 2000, 2004, and 2008, stealing votes from both sides of the aisle, and many argue cost Al Gore the presidency. Today, it's candidates like Jill Stein of the Green Party and Gary Johnson of the Libertarian Party. Both are virtually ignored by both the media and the system. That was during 2012 and 2016. So is there a future for third parties in America? Not as things stand now. nor in the foreseeable future.
The Politics of America, great report. Farron Franzak joins us now live here on the set. It doesn't look like anytime in the near future there's going to be a third or fourth party in America, though it seems like the populace is really all but screaming for it.
Absolutely, and that's where you're seeing, you mentioned Montana, where these Democrats, they actually went and were calling voters saying, you need to recant your vote. Or there was a person on the ballot who had put her address down and then moved midway through, and they said it's the wrong address. So they're kind of trying to do whatever they can to keep them off, because you see history, sometimes they can really mess up your election if they want to.
And more often than not, we see in polls that Americans say, I wish I had somebody else I could vote for. I'm just not crazy about these two choices, right? And
what you're seeing now, Rick, is that people, it's like, I hate Trump, so I'm going to vote Biden. Or I hate Biden, so I'm going to vote Trump. It's who you don't want
I'm not going to vote at all.
Versus who you do.
Right. Good stuff. Yeah. Great report. Good to be able to do a deep dive on things that we often don't look at enough. Farron Franzak, good job. Time to turn to the world of sports. Steve Christakos joining us now. He decided to put on, you got the memo about the blue jacket, no tie today?
No tie Friday, blue jacket.
Well done.
Always,
so what do you got, man?
All right, let's start with some, we got a lot of action. So Muay Thai boxing, one of your favorites. Remember, we did this a few weeks ago. You love the Muay Thai. Now, I got some big knockouts. Now, this first one's a little appetizer to get you going here. That man right there, Yurik Javchan, puts his opponent to sleep in the second round, says, hey, nothing personal, man. I'm sorry. Check it out again after the slow-mo here. Just no chance for him. A left hook right to the chin.
What's a little concussion between friends?
Yes, but check out this one now, the co-main event. All right, match just started, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 seconds into the match.
Oh, my
Knocks him out. Now, that was 6 seconds. Now, why is this significant? You're going to see it again a couple times. Fastest KO in one championship history. This is one championship fighting.
3 punches.
Yeah. 6 seconds into the match. So the fastest ever. Made history. Look at this from this angle. I mean, no chance. He's out.
And this is not exact. It's the same as boxing.
Muay Thai. So they call it the art of 8 limbs. Now this is because it uses fists, elbows, knees, and shins, right? So it's not like regular boxing here in America. So this was over in Thailand, by the way. Right. Very entertaining, very dangerous though, as you see. Guys getting knocked out all over the place. That guy's name, by the way, Kapitan Petyandi Academy. Petyandi. Sorry. Yes.
That's what I was going to name one of my kids.
Yeah, right?
I changed my mind at the last minute.
No. It's a good one. It's a good one. He's one of a kind.
What else you got?
Next up, now we got free running. Free running is a sport. It's much like breakdancing or gymnastics. Check out this guy. He's a Ukrainian kid, Alexander Titarenko. Now, he started off, just practicing, doing some tunnel flips, and he wasn't content with pulling off a record 16-foot tunnel flip from one stationary platform. Oh, you think that's impressive? Wait. Now, he didn't want to do it from a stationary platform.
No, he's not going to do this.
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it between 2 moving transporter trucks going at 20 miles per hour. Check this out. Now, this is a world record, slow motion right here. This was the record. He tried it a year earlier and failed, and now he nailed this one. A 16-foot tunnel flip going 20 miles per hour, nails it. You see, like, Tom Cruise do those in Mission Impossible movies, but this
Wait a minute,
guy's for
you
real.
just said he failed. Failed looks like death to me.
No, you're going to see a failed attempt a year earlier right here, and he kind of bangs his knee up, and then he came back from that. So, yeah, that could have been much more dangerous.
Oh, I see. They have a net there.
Right.
Okay.
But that was his practice earlier, but now he actually nailed it right there. Pretty impressive stuff.
That guy's amazing, man. It looks like he's Spidey.
Titarenko, that's his name, right?
Well,
yeah.
Well done.
Real life Spider-Man.
Good.
All right, now our last VO for you. You're a big golf guy, I know. I know you've hit a hole-in-one before. I see your plaque in the office.
Which, by the way, that does not make you a great golfer.
No.
That means you had one lucky shot.
Yeah, but you are a great golfer, though.
Not bad.
But, yeah. Now, how about disc golf? It's similar to regular golf.
Yeah, I love it. I've done it.
All right, look at this kid. All right, he pulls off. This was in Massachusetts. It's called the OTB Skin Series. He made a hole-in-one from, check this out, 176 yards, 530 feet. Look, his crew's hyping him up like, did you just do that? Now, that was on the 16th hole.
And he broke his ankle in the process. Watch this.
No, yeah. He almost takes his own ankle or knee out right there. It can be dangerous, disc golf. But, yeah, that was very impressive. A hole-in-one from 176 yards out on a par 3.
These are some of the best highlights that I've seen in some time.
Fun stuff.
Thank you for sharing some of this stuff with us, man. That's really, really cool.
That was incredible.
All right, so last night the Heat won.
They did.
That's exciting news.
17-point comeback.
They may be. We said yesterday they may be the best team in basketball.
They may
I think
be.
last night they kind of almost started to confirm it.
Yes.
I'm seeing the Lakers and the Heat playing in the championship.
Oh, I can't wait.
Am I crazy?
No, the NBA Finals, Lakers Heat. I've been saying that for a while. That's what I want to see. That's what I think's going to happen.
But there's one bit of bad news. My Minnesota Twins, my favorite baseball team, has gotten their butt kicked by that team in Washington. What are they?
No, the Chicago White Sox took them out
Do you know there's one of our colleagues here who's from Chicago, and she's a fan of that team.
Is she really?
And she shows up on set sometimes wearing a uniform.
She does often.
Of the White Sox.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, with COVID and everything, I've been working on my art skills. I was drawing a picture of Rick last night, so I figured this could be.
I don't see the resemblance, but
well done. That's what a Twins fan looks like right now after losing 3 almost consecutive games to your team.
Yes. And the White Sox did clinch last night.
I
so
still
they'll be
love
in the
you both. Thank you very much, but we're out of
Mm-hmm.
time. That's it for us. I'm Rick Sanchez. Thank you so much for being with us. Thanks for being with us here on RT America. Remember to check us on portable TV, which means you can keep us on your phone and check us on or check into us whenever you want. We'll be looking for you again when it's time to do news again.